teacher Margo, and here I am to teach you how to be a good journalist. One of the hardest skills for a young journalist to master is interviewing. It takes preparation and persistence to conduct a good interview. And so, here I am to give you some tips during the interview and learn how to interview like a pro. Good evening, everyone. Today, we'll be welcoming one of those women who first organized one of the very first women's organization here in the Philippines. She is no other than Teresita Jean Quintos Deles. Tip number 1. Research, 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 then research some more. The only way to come up with a good question is to know everything there is to know about your subject. She helped mother women's organizations such as Filipina, Women's Action Network for Development or WAND, and Legislative Advocates for Women or LAW, working on the first laws protecting women. She is also the peace advocate. She co-founded the Coalition of Peace, the first non-government that aimed to end the ongoing conflicts between the women and the country. She is also the first female presidential advisor on peace process or OPPAP and lead convener of the National Anti-Poverty Commission or NAPC. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So, ma'am, how did it all begin? Number 2. Contact the person you wish to interview through email, through phone call. It is proper to ask when the good time would be to do the interview and be polite, say please, and say thank you.
I began structured work as a feminist activities in 1980s. Back then, we were already fighting to overcome barriers for women's equal participation for the country. It was transforming burdens and responsibility for the multiple burdens of women. It was the insight that poor women suffered not just being poor, but as a woman.
Tip number 3. Come prepared. You will want to bring a ball pen, a paper, a list of good questions, or a recorder. But remember, always ask permission before recording your entire conversation. In this interview, I already asked Ms. Deles if I can record our conversation, and she said yes. I see. You are also known as the convener among women's organizations and has provided different platforms for women to come together and talk across the different devices. So what is your strategy to it? I mean, what key did you use so that all women with different situations will be in one place?
Well, I insist that organizing is important. Organizing.
Tip number 4. Be courteous to your subject and look to the person's eye when asking questions or when listening to them. Always listen carefully to the answers because each answers could lead to many more questions or include an answer to a question you haven't asked yet. Don't ask a question that has already been answered because your subject will know that you are not listening and he or she will be insulted.
Means making time for meetings, having long conversations that sometimes do not seem to get anywhere but are important to find the leveling off and understanding as the famous victim of women's movement goes. The personal is political.
Then, how can you see Philippines today when it comes to women's rights and empowerment?
As we can see, in the Philippines now, after so much gains and advancement, misogyny can still rear its ugly head. What we thought we had already gained and fought for are now and again under threat.
So, ma'am, what is your advice for our new generation?
Well, I get the sense that the younger people may be a bit wary about being too organized, being co-opted into structure. They will have to find out way of organizing that works with them. I cannot believe that one can do power strategy that does not organize people. He should also be knowledgeable in terms of their right and how women can be a key to develop our society.
So that's it, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time.
Yes.
Tip number 5. Be on time. Arrive at your interview with plenty of time. There's nothing more unprofessional than a journalist who is always late.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you so much. So, that are the powerful and important tips to interview like a pro. This is your teacher Margo, and I hope you learn a lot. See ya!